Hi guys, how are you today? I've been away for a while, traveling for about 6 or 7 weeks, so I haven't been able to record very much. As of yesterday, I'm back, and I'm back in time because I just want to preview for you guys and women, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. I want to preview the 2021 Australian Open, all of the rounds, and I want to go through it all. First of all, I'm going to do a quick preview of the ATP Cup. No, actually, I'll do that at the end. I'll do the Australian Open first because some people may not want to wait. They may want to hear about the Australian Open first and tune out for the rest of it. So that's what we'll do. So first of all, I want to just say, like, I just sort of feel like the Australian Open, the draw, it's a four-horse race with Medvedev, Thiem, Djokovic, and Nadal. I just think it's about those guys, right? Then when you look at the draw, like, first of all, let's go through Nadal and Djokovic, their draw. Like, if it was a quarterfinal sort of situation, Nadal would get Tsitsipas in the quarter. Nadal's basically draw is he's got two qualifiers in the first or second round. If he's a bit short on matches, he gets through those, he moves through to the third round, right? Then from that point on, Nadal is going to be playing Dan Evans in the third round, which he hasn't really done much. For a match against a top 30 guy, he may not even make it, but he would destroy Dan Evans by the third round after he got through the two qualifiers. Then he would be looking at Fabio Fognini in the fourth round. Like, it's been a while since Fognini made the fourth round of a Grand Slam, so he probably won't get there. He's given Nadal trouble in the past, but he hasn't been the same Fognini for about a year and a half or a year. So I just don't see Fognini as the threat he once was, where you would have looked at the draw a couple of years ago and said, Fognini does well against Nadal, but now no. Probably won't. The match probably won't happen, but if it does, it won't be a challenge for him. His first big challenge, Nadal, would be in the quarterfinals against Tsitsipas if he made it. Now, Stefano Tsitsipas, like, I mean, he's a good player. He's in the top, he's six in the world, but I don't know. I just feel like it's been around a year or so since he was doing well. Around the 2019 Australian Open, he did quite well. He made the semi-finals. He won the World Tour Finals at the end of 2019. But since then, I just see like, yeah, I just don't see that Tsitsipas did much in 2020. So I just really don't think that I really don't think that Tsitsipas see, I just don't think that Tsitsipas. Sorry about that. I'm just getting the camera right. Yeah, I just don't think that Tsitsipas has just done enough. I think he's kind of lost it. He will be more of a challenge than the other players. He could get a set against Nadal, but for me, I mean, Djokovic has got Zverev, he's got Tsitsipas. It's close. I would say Zverev, just because Tsitsipas didn't do anything in 2020. So I would say that Nadal would probably rather play him. So that's an okay draw. Like, I wouldn't say an easy draw for the semi-finals, or I wouldn't say it's a hard draw. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah. I wouldn't say it's an easy draw, or I wouldn't say it's a hard draw. It's just sort of a moderate situation. But Nadal should get past Tsitsipas. Tsitsipas could have been a threat in the past, but he hasn't proven that he's doing that now. So then when you move through to the semi-finals, before I do that, I'll look at Djokovic's draw. Now, Djokovic, well, I mean, he's got sort of an okay sort of a. Actually, I'm just going to have to see the draw right now. So I just look it up as I talk. Um, I hope you guys are enjoying the tennis, and I hope you guys are enjoying your start to the year. But yeah, that's what I think about Nadal. I just think that like his path through to the semi-finals, there's only really Tsitsipas that'll even provide competition, and then that moves him through. Um, that moves him through. So, yeah, Djokovic would start off with Shardy. I mean, it's not a qualifier, a bit harder than Nadal. He'd probably get TFO in the second round. Now, he's done some things. So I'd say for the second round, that's a bit tough, but Djokovic would win that. He'd get Fritz in the third round, a bit of a challenge, but not too much. Um, then in the next round, he'd either get the round of 16, Raonic or Wawrinka. Wawrinka's caused him a lot of trouble. So if Wawrinka gets it going, that could be a lot of trouble. Raonic, it's tough. They met in the quarterfinals last year, so it's a bit tough. Um, yeah, it's a bit of a tough one for earlier, but I mean his record's so good against Raonic. Raonic depends a lot on the serve, and if Djokovic gets back a lot of serves, gets him in rallies, Raonic doesn't have anything to go to. But Wawrinka, if he's hot, that would be a potential loss for Djokovic if he's not at his best. Um, so then he's going to sort of move on in the draw. Gael Monfils is also in this part of the draw. Um, So yeah, he's going to get Zverev in the semi-finals. Again, he had a very, very tough. So he had a very tough match. Djokovic against Zverev at the ATP Cup. So, like I said, I think he would rather get Tsitsipas because Zverev's proved more. Paris Masters, the end of last year, Zverev got to the final, but I mean, it's a tough match, but still, you would favour Djokovic. The serve is going to get a lot of Zverev's big serves back, which could cause a problem and force Zverev into rallies, which Djokovic is better. Then, as far as Zverev's second serve double faults, if you've got a great returner who can attack your second serve, um, you're more likely to be worried and serve more doubles. So, yeah, it could be if he's not at his best, he could lose, but can Zverev hold his nerve? Again, like the Tsitsipas match for Nadal, like a bit of a tough match. Sorry, a bit of a tough match, but like you'd favour him. Something to set you up for the semi-finals. Um, so let's look at Theme's draw. Well, are there any Dominic Theme fans out there? If there is, get back to me in the chat or the comments. You know, like anyone. You might not be watching it live, but what I was saying was they would play. Dominic Thiem would be playing Djokovic in the semi-finals, so I'm going to get onto that one. Just trying to look up Thiem's draw at the moment, which I can't seem to find, but I'm going to get there. So yeah, what I was saying was going back to Djokovic's draw, Wawrinka, that could be the tough one. I see that, but having that and then Zverev could force Djokovic to be quite exhausted when he moves on. That's what I would say. So Thiem, He's going to get Kukushkin in the first round, Delian or Koffer second round, Humbert in the third round. I mean, it's not very difficult at the moment. Um, Pablo Correa Robusta likes to rally. Theme should overpower him in the fourth. Then the quarterfinals, we know he's going to get Djokovic. The quarterfinals, Schwartzman, yeah, he should really overpower Schwartzman. A lot of these guys without power like to rally. And then he'll be through to the semi-finals against Djokovic. What about Medvedev, the other guy that I think has a possibility of doing something here, right? So what's Medvedev's draw? So we need to sort of, in determining the champion here, we need to understand the paths of the players. I showed you Nadal's draw. Like I said, Fanini in the fourth round, and then Tsitsipas in the quarterfinal. So Medvedev is going to play Papisal. Then he's going to play Cabalas Banana. Not really sure. Don't know much about him. And then in the third round, you get Krajinovic. Yeah, I think that's not very hard. Third round. Then in the fourth round, you get Batista Agut. Now that could give a big challenge for Medvedev. Not an easy fourth round, Batista Agut, but I'm going to go for Medvedev. I'm going to say he'll get through, but it's not guaranteed. It's quite tough. And then Rublev. So fellow Russian Rublev, quarterfinals. Um, and then Batista Agut. The Batista Agut one with Medvedev is going to be very tough. Could go either way. Then he finds a way to get over that. He's got to get over Rublev in the quarterfinal. So we may not see Medvedev. Medvedev will have to be his best to be in the semi-final. But I think he's going to get it going in two tough matches. He's going to get through, be in the semi-finals, be exhausted. So based on my picks, I've got Thiem in one semi-final against Djokovic and Medvedev in the other against Nadal. So that's what we've got. So let's sort of go over the semi-finals from there. I think Medvedev, if he gets through, is going to be exhausted. Not going to be going to give Nadal a bit of a challenge, but we'll lose that in 4 sets. I really think when I look at these guys match up, the speed of the court is important. On indoors or grass, Medvedev can get the ball through the court, take Nadal's time away, have enough speed on his shot to sort of control some points, get through Nadal's defense, and get the ball through the court fast where Nadal doesn't have time to run around and hit forehands or even set up for the big motion on the forehand because the flat shots of Medvedev's getting through. And you saw that at the World Tour finals at the end of last year in the semi-finals where Medvedev got the win and a sort of grass type speed. On clay, he would have no hope of getting the ball through the court, putting Nadal under any pressure, challenging Nadal's defense. Nadal would always have time to control with the forehand. This court is borderline between those two, but I would say it's just a bit slow for Medvedev. Bit slow. So I'd say on a fast court, Medvedev's getting the ball through the court and taking Nadal's time away, getting through his defense. Nadal doesn't have time to set up for forehands. But on a slowerish court, which I think this is just slow enough, Medvedev becomes more like a David Ferrer, consistent baseline and not enough power to really threaten. And in that type of situation, Nadal does have time to set up for the forehand, run around, hit forehands, and he's basically playing two consistent baseliners, battling it out, neither wanting to make errors, both good defense. But Nadal now has the time to set up with the forehand and dictate the rallies with the forehand. Medvedev's flat shots, he doesn't quite have enough power to take Nadal's time, and Nadal just two long rallies, battling it out. Nadal controlling the court with the forehand. That's what I see happening. But on a faster court, Medvedev has the ability to attack, control points, get the ball through the court faster, and Nadal doesn't have the time to set up on the forehand. But I think this is just slow enough where Medvedev would just be like a typical baseliner, keeping the ball on the court, great defense, no errors. Nadal will do the same, but Nadal will have the time due to the court not being too fast to just basically be playing a consistent baseliner that doesn't threaten him, and he'll just control the court with the forehand. Medvedev will hit him, make him hit one more forehand in the defense, and Medvedev will just get exhausted by being pushed around the court by Rafa's forehand, and he'll physically break down, and Nadal should get it in 4 sets and move through to the final. The other one, really, it's a 50-50 game between Thiem and Djokovic, and I just think it could go. Um, they're both great at defense. They're both consistent ralliers. They're both fast. Djokovic makes less errors, so he's more consistent. Better return of serve. Thiem has more power, but he can go for too much. So if Thiem is going for too much, Djokovic will keep defense and consistency. Will make him hit one more shot, and he'll get frustrated and go for too much, like he did at the Australian Open final last year. And he'll go for too much on the power, frustrated how hard it is to get through Djokovic's defense, frustrated by his serve. He's not getting the 1-2 punch. The short balls and just setting up and hammering the 1-2 with a big forehand, because Djokovic is able to get his serve deep and get him 50-50 rallies, and he just panics and he needs to end the point right away. It's just going to come down to, is he patient or is he going for too much in this affair? But if Thiem is landing his shots and playing consistently, he can just be two rallies where he's got more power in his shot and he overpowers and controls the point. So if most of his shots are landing in, he'll win. He'll overpower. But if they're not, Djokovic will make him hit a lot of shots and great defense and test his shot tolerance. Is he going to go for too much? I'd say it's going to be pretty even. It'll go to 5 sets. But then in the end, under the pressure, Djokovic just finds his best. And Thiem doesn't and gets nervous and feels the pressure. And in that type of situation, when he's feeling the pressure, Djokovic is getting all his serves back deep, forcing him into rallies. When he tries to end the point in the rally, Djokovic is playing great defense, one more. Djokovic is just too consistent. He's going to go for too much. And I say, it all comes down to Thiem. Thiem has the ability to overpower and dominate the rallies, but is he consistent enough, or does he go for too much and hit the ball out? I say under the pressure, he loses it in the 5th set. Djokovic is too consistent, too good under pressure, and Thiem is not as great under pressure and goes for too much on the power in the 5th set. And it's a battle, but Djokovic takes it. So then we're left with Nadal and Djokovic in the final. And I just think that like this battle that Djokovic is going to face, physical battle, and with the Nadal a much easier semi-final because Medvedev would be exhausted against him. The matchup is good. So I just say that like Djokovic is going to be exhausted. He's not at his best. I mean, when you look at the build up to this situation, when Djokovic is out for a while, he gets his game back, but he takes time. Now the guys had 6 or 7 months out. They came back for 3 months. Then they had another over 2 months off. So this is the type of situation who can get their game going fast after being out for a while. Djokovic usually takes time. I saw Nadal in the 2019 Australian Open. Sorry guys. I saw Nadal in the 2019 Australian Open. Like, what did he do? Like he came and didn't play a match in over 4 months and just beat everyone and made the final. Like I said, Djokovic takes time, right? So I saw Nadal do that. Then I also saw him win the French Open last year, which is 7 months off, 3 matches. All the other guys went to the US. He still won. And not only that, one thing is if he just got another French Open, but without that whole 2-month clay season, with just 3 matches, he won the whole set without even dropping the whole tournament without dropping a set. So that shows he doesn't need matches anymore. That like, okay, he may have won the French Open regardless because he's that dominant, but for it to be only the fourth time where he didn't drop a set, that to me says it doesn't matter about the matches for him. 2019, yes, he was dominated um, by Djokovic in the final. But remember, Djokovic in 2018 won everything in the second half of the year, played everything, won anything, if not made the final, was dominating. Whereas Nadal, that whole time Djokovic was just winning every tournament in the final, Nadal hadn't even got one warm up match in over 4 months. And it's Djokovic's best slam, the Australian Open. So the fact that Nadal can come from that and just get all the way to the final without dropping a set, of course, in his first tournament in 4 months, he's not going to beat Djokovic at the Australian Open when he's been dominating and winning everything. But this time it's different. They're both coming off this layoff. They're both under a test who can find their game faster. And I just think Djokovic takes a bit of time. Nadal didn't at the 2019 Australian Open to get to the final. First 6 matches off 4 months, not losing a set. So he can't compete with Djokovic when those 4 months Djokovic was playing and winning. But when they're both on a long way up and it's a test who's going to get it faster, Nadal showed in the 2019 Australian Open he can get it right away. He showed it at the 2020 French Open. And I think for that reason he's going to win this. And also the draw, I think that Djokovic is going to be quite exhausted after getting through the theme match. Then the whole mental edge of their rivalry, which Djokovic has had, it could have changed because the last time they met was at the French Open, right? And Nadal destroyed him 6-2, 6-love, 6-2, 7-5. Now, sure, you can say like it's Clay and Nadal and whatever. No, that's not the way it's worked with their rivalry. Nadal has um, battled in 4 and sometimes 5 sets of the French Open. Djokovic just battled maybe on hard court, but Djokovic got it on hard court and grass too, but Nadal on clay. But there were battles, and it was occasional that this happened. So, but mentally, I mean, if you beat someone 6-love, 6-2, 7-5 and destroy them, at that point it doesn't matter what surface it is because the level of the beating is so high that the changing a surface. Sorry, the changing a surface, it's just not going to matter. Like you can't 6-love, 6-2. You're so much in a different league, at least on that day, that changing a surface, it may make the loss closer, but you would never be able to win on that day on any surface. And that's where they are. And now there's a huge mental edge from Nadal for that match. And if you want to know that Djokovic was affected by the beating, like I said, if it was just going through the motions in a normal French Open and a 4-set, 4-hour battle, and Djokovic Nadal was just better, it wouldn't impact this. But it wasn't that. It was the last match between them. Djokovic was destroyed. So remember that. And if you want to know that he's mentally affected, if you want to know that Djokovic is mentally affected by any of this, um, the next tournament, he went to Vienna and lost to a guy ranked around 50 in the world, 6-1, 6-2. That's unheard of. That never happens. Why? Because it was on the back of the French Open beating against Nadal. The fact that he could play Nadal and not be even in the league, that he could be embarrassed, it affected him. And you saw it in Vienna. So the next time he plays Nadal, there's going to be a negative effect for him. But the confidence Nadal, any fears or bad feelings from the rivalry with Djokovic is all gone. Now it's like I destroyed this guy last time I played him. And I feel great playing him again on any surface because the surface change can't overturn a win that big. But for Djokovic, now he's got a barrier to break over. So, I just think that that match is going to play an important impact in the Australian Open. I don't think Nadal would win like that scoreline. Like I said, the change of surface will make the loss closer for Djokovic and the win closer. And I don't even think Nadal will win in straight sets. I think he'll win in 4 or 5. So there's going to be that factor and the fact that Djokovic is going to be physically run down from the FIM semi-final. So I'm going to say in a close match, Nadal's going to win the final. He's going to get his 21st Grand Slam, and that's it. And then he'll be 4 Grand Slams ahead of Djokovic, 1 ahead of Federer. Then you win the French, and he'll be at 22, 5 ahead of Djokovic, and 2 ahead of Federer, and the GOAT debate will be over. End of story. So that's my Australian Open preview. That's how I see it. Now, the ATP Cup, we've got Russia against Italy. The final coming up later today or tomorrow, depending on when you see this. So I just see that, this situation, like Fanini is going to play against Rublev, and Rublev is just like quite like the way Fanini's been lately, as I said, not doing anything amazing. Rublev's a lot higher level, so Rublev's going to get the first one. And Berrettini against Medvedev. I mean, I think that Berrettini's too inconsistent, doesn't have any speed on the court, plays a Songa birdage style, just hammers it, goes for too much. Medvedev will get back his serves, force him into rallies, have great defense, and then Berrettini will go for too much. And then I just think Rublev and Medvedev together against Fanini and Berrettini, it's a bit of a different level. No one else has 2 top 8 players as Russia, so they'll take out this team competition, the ATP Cup, and they'll be the champions of it. And that's just my preview. That's how I see the ATP Cup going. I'm going to be back to I'll do a preview of the quarterfinals of the Australian Open, one of the semi-finals, one of the finals. I'll review the matches, but you'll see me just before the Australian Open quarterfinals. Guys, I just hope you like this video, and have a great day, night, wherever you are in the world. Enjoy the tennis and be back for my quarterfinal preview. Thanks, guys. Bye for now. Subscribe. Thumbs up, bell notification, subscribe again. Thank you and bye for now. And be back for my next video. Bye. Bye. Thanks for watching.